Welcome to the Adult Algorithm Podcast, the How to Adult podcast.
First of all, if you don't have a planner, get one.
I don't know
This
how
ain't
you,
high school.
I don't know how you survive.
There will be no sugarcoating whatsoever.
This is the hashtag No Sugarcoating podcast.
And I'm your host, Jasmine Johnson.
You're like the best influence and the worst influence all in one.
Are you ready to grow into your potential? What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Adult Algorithm, the How to Adult podcast with your host, Jasmine Johnson. Hi, I've missed you all so much. I know I don't have a tripod. Girl, don't even get me started. It's okay. We're living. We're really living for this look. This vlogging look, which I'll get into later. Anyways, hi, I've missed you guys so much. I'm so excited to be podcasting again. That month off was really needed to kind of reflect on this summer, and here's why. I did so much throughout the summer. I really tapped into the creative side. I had my first real internship with the accounting firm that I was interning at, and I had a lot of things to think about, and I did want to work as much as I could at Arrow for as long as I could before I leave for my study abroad, which is literally in 4 days. I am leaving for Paris, France to study abroad for 4 months on September 5th, which is this Sunday. I am excited, I am nervous, I am scared. You guys are coming along with me the entire time, so I better get used to holding the phone like this because vlog style is the best style, of course. And yeah, I'm very excited. I'm excited for this month's new topic, of course, called Back to Reality. Yep, we are talking all about school. We're talking about colleges because, I mean, high school really does, and high school teachers and guidance counselors have a different perception of college nowadays. I mean, it's a huge meme that high school teachers used to tell us all the time. Oh yeah, you will never get away with this with your college professors, and then the next year you're calling your professors by their first names. So, I mean, getting the perspective of real college kids is going to be probably a little bit more insightful. So I invite my friend, my sister, on today. Her name is Hilary, and I'm so excited for her to kind of talk about her experience. She's one of the busiest people I know, and also one of the most insightful and inspirational people that I know. And I talk about that a lot on today's episode, so I really want everyone to listen to what she says, really take into consideration the stories we tell, and I'm really excited for this new chapter for the Adult Algorithm. And our 1 year is coming up, our 40th episode is coming up. We have some really amazing topics, and I'm so excited to be adding vlogging. And you know what? We're going to take this day by day and week by week all together. Thank you all for supporting me this far. With that being said, also, we don't have a small business highlight for this week. I just want everyone to focus on themselves and investing in yourself and your college and your future. And yeah, let's get into the episode.
Hi, I'm Hilary Cameron. I am a rising senior at URI, and I am majoring in nursing and psychology. Woohoo! Love that. On campus, I currently have 2 jobs. I actually work as a research assistant underneath a professor in the College of Nursing. I'm also involved in a sorority, and I also am a part of the Roadie-thon e-board. So that's a little bit about me. I also work at a hospital in Boston. So yeah.
Wow. All my friends are booked and busy. We love to see it. Thank you, Hilary, for coming on. I'm so excited for you to answer some questions for the first episode of our Back to School series.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we have some great questions. Hopefully that will help incoming college kids. I mean, we're going back soon. It's crazy. When does URI's first day start? The 8th?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, so scary. Next week. When do you move in? You live off campus?
Yeah, I'm moving on the 7th because I'm working all day on the 6th when I'm supposed to move in. But I'm really excited either way. So
yes.
When do you start school?
I start school on my birthday on September 13th. RIP. Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of rude, but
a little bit.
Okay. We're school positive here. Okay,
we
love school. We love school.
Exactly, and that is what we're going to talk about today. We love to see it. The first question, because this is mostly aimed at, either freshmen going to college or even, sophomores and juniors that haven't had the experience they've wanted because of COVID. So this
Mhm.
is for a lot of people. We are seniors, which is disgusting. How did that even happen? We met our sophomore year because we
Mhm.
are in the same, what is it called? Class, rush class? I don't know. Rush. I don't
Yeah.
know the word
Wait,
we
no,
use.
we met, I think we met second semester freshman year
Yes.
because
Oh,
that's when we
freshman year.
joined.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when we did it. There we go,
Mhm.
memory. Yes, second semester freshman year. We were cute little freshmen and now we are old
Old.
seniors. We love it. The first question is, what's the biggest difference between high school and college? There's a lot.
I feel like the biggest difference for me was that there are so many more opportunities in college when you compare it to high school. I think that in high school, it's kind of hard, especially because I even came from a big high school and I still feel like it was a small bubble. And especially when you go to a large university, there are so many different opportunities and things you can do that you couldn't even think of in high school, like different clubs, different classes, different majors. Like I just feel like you get to express yourself a lot more in college, which is something that I've really enjoyed. And again, especially if you go to a big university, and in high school, you get to know the same people. It's kind of like the same crew. But I feel like in college, it's like everybody's so different and you get to hear so much about other people's experiences in life. And I think it's like such an amazing experience, honestly. And especially in the education realm, it definitely is more intense. But I've personally liked it a lot better because I'm actually interested in the content that I'm learning, which I think is something that people always forget about, like going into college. It's just like, oh, this is so hard. But like the first year is normally just basic prereqs that you're not so excited about. And then you get to your actual major. And then if that's not for you, that's totally fine. You'll figure out what you need to do. It's so hard to know what you want to do at 18 years old. Like, why is that normal? I don't know. So I would
It
say
could
those are some
be.
of the biggest differences. Sorry, didn't
Yes.
mean to interrupt you.
Oh my God, no, no, I interrupted you. Don't worry. We have a school that's has over 18,000 kids. So it's like that's like the first step is figuring out like, do you want to go to a big school or a small school?
Mhm.
Because it's a big difference.
Yeah. See, my high school was like 2,000 people. So I
Wow.
was like,
Oh
that
my
would be
God.
the size of a small college. So I
Right.
knew I didn't want that because I was like, I've already been there, done that.
Mhm.
Not my vibe. Like, I wanted to go to a state university because I thought they would have the most opportunities. And I love like that sports, atmosphere. And I knew I could get that. And, liberal arts schools don't really have nursing. So all of those were kind of off the table, anyways, especially because most of them are small. Um, so I'm really happy that I ended up at URI. I love it there, but it's definitely like the size just depends on the person. Like my best friend still goes to high school. I mean, not high school, college that is just as big as our high school, and she loves it. It just depends on the vibe you're going for. And like I feel like for a lot of like specific majors, it's easier to go to a smaller school. Like she does teaching. It's nice to have like all these professors that she's super close with because she has them for a lot of the same classes. So I feel like it just depends.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, very, very true. Definitely something you need to be thinking about when applying. What did you think college was going to be like versus what it's actually like?
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of things I thought college would be like. I think
Yep.
I thought it was going to be like High School Musical, honestly. I feel like I was expecting to get there and be like best friends with my roommates and be like, this is just like a sleepover every night. And I was just, it was just different. I don't think it was bad. I was just expecting it to be like, bestie roommate hanging out every single day, just giggling in our room. Meanwhile, I was living in a triple, kind of miserable, didn't really love either of my roommates. Sending love to them, hope them the best, but we weren't good roommates. So it was just different. And I think it was different in a good way because High School Musical, just let's be real, wasn't really the best plot, and also just like couldn't really see myself spending a summer in Albuquerque. So also there's that. Like, I don't think that was like necessarily the most accurate representation. I don't really know why I didn't think that going into high school, but it's okay. Nobody sang any songs on the URI campus, and I think that's good.
Oh my God, Hilary, you need to just stand up friggin' comedian. I cannot deal. I
I
cannot.
really did think it was gonna be like we are all best friends. Like, and that's just not the way college is. Like,
I
you
agree.
just meet so many different people. Some of them are your vibe, some aren't.
Yes, very, very true. And I do have a question in here. I was like,
Mhm.
right when you mentioned your roommates, I was like scrolling to the question. And what's your biggest advice on living with other people? Because your freshman year, you lived in triple, same here.
Mhm.
Sophomore year, you lived in the sorority house. You
Mhm.
got sent home for COVID.
Yep.
And now you're about to move into a house with
Mhm.
3 other girls.
Mhm.
So, what's your advice on living with other people, your experiences, any stories you have?
Well, I would say that like as a roommate, I feel like the most important thing to do is to like establish boundaries, because other than that, like especially if you live in a triple, I guess I'm talking mainly on my freshman experience because since then it's been fine. Um, and I've loved like everyone I've lived with, but I think that freshman year, like a really hard thing to do is to establish those boundaries. And when we got to URI, the RAs were like, you need to like sign an agreement and have these agreements. And I was like, haha, you're funny. I'm not doing that. And did I? No, honestly, I didn't. Just gonna put that out there. Sorry, any RIs that are listening. I definitely, me, my roommates were just like, okay, see you later. But I actually wish I would have done that, because I think if you don't set boundaries, it's really hard to create them. So I think it's something from the start is to talk about what you want and need as roommates. For example, my roommate who lived right next to the window would keep the window open all night because she'd get hot. But I wake up the second the sun rises because I'm a light sleeper. So that didn't really work for me. But because we didn't set that boundary, I was waking up at 6 a.m. every day. For what? For what reason? The answer is none. But she was hot, so she had to fill her needs. So it's just like everybody has these different like things that I think is important to accommodate early on so you don't get screwed over in the end. So that would be like my number one tip. I do kind of have a funny story from freshman year with my roommate. One of my roommates snored a lot, and again, I'm a light sleeper, so again, wasn't quite the right vibe for me. No shade to her, totally understandable, totally get it. And if she hears this, sorry girl, this is what I did. So I had 3 finals in one day the next day, which technically wasn't allowed, but one of them was my theater performance, so I was like, it's fine, we're moving on. So I had 3 finals starting at 8 a.m. the next day. And it was 3 a.m. and I still hadn't been able to go to bed because she was snoring. And I was like, I can't do this. So I started yelling her name, and to like try and get her to wake up, I was like whispering it at first, kind of whisper yelling, oh my God, there are turkeys outside. And then she wasn't waking up, and I was like, even just like a little rustle, a little bit of movement to like make the snoring a little less loud would be good. Like, I need to go to bed. I have to be up in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I yelled out her name and pretended I was sleep talking. So like I yelled out her name, and then she woke up, and then I started like mumbling in my sleep and like tossing myself back and forth to like pretend I was having like a nightmare or something that I just happened to like yell out in the middle of the night.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then the next morning I was like, oh my gosh, so sorry. I was having such bad dreams last night. Like, I don't know if like I like yelled out or anything, because sometimes like I can yell when I have bad dreams. And she said nothing.
What the fuck?
It's really an iconic story, and if she hears it now, sorry I did do that, bestie, but she went right back to bed, so no shade. I mean,
Yeah,
I just had to do what I had to do.
exactly. Oh my God, that's so funny. Holy shit, I cannot deal. That is an iconic story. I agree.
So if you do, guys, if you have a snoring roommate
There you go.
and you're desperate, you may have to accidentally sleep talk.
Accidentally.
And that's my number one tip of advice.
I
Okay.
love that. It's something you didn't know that you needed to know.
Yeah.
And now you do.
Survival instincts, even.
Yes. I love it. That is so funny. My next question, since you mentioned exams, and I know during exam time I am the Miss procrastinating queen. I think procrastinating is a frigging college epidemic, but that's fine. What do you do to not procrastinate? And if you do, how do you get through it? How do you do during exam time? What's your advice during that?
Well, I feel like, yeah, I would honestly say plan out your time beforehand. One thing I'm not good at doing is being like, at this time, from this time to this time today, I'm going to study for this. It doesn't work for me. I don't do that. But I'm big on to-do lists. I'm big on due dates. I don't like getting stuff not done beforehand. So I'm very like proactive when it comes to studying. I would say at least start studying a week beforehand. There's a lot of content. So like people are like on the reading days, like let's just hang out. But I really like to take advantage of them. And I just kind of lock myself up in my room and like to just study and sometimes go to the beach for a break. I would say for me, my favorite study tactics are going through my notes. I really like retaking old notes. If your teacher has recorded lectures, I totally recommend having them on in the background, even if you're not paying attention to them, because even just hearing it, you can subconsciously, when you're on the exam, be like, I actually remember specifically hearing that in lecture. That's been really helpful for me. And just starting, like, there's no such thing as too early starting for an exam. So if you're getting nervous and stressed about an exam coming up in 2 weeks, start studying 2 weeks early. Like, why not? You're not, I mean, if you have other stuff going on, just my recommendation is slowly adding in more and more time studying until like the 3 days going up to the exam. And then you can start like cramming a little bit. And then the night before, I like to just have someone quiz me on like my keynotes, and then I go to bed. So that's kind of my go-to routine for any final or just exams in general.
Wow, that is fabulous.
Thank you.
And this is why you're double majoring. Like, what?
That was just a last minute decision.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you know the vibe. I love it. No, that's such great advice. Everyone needs to take it, because me, as somebody who is not a good test taker whatsoever,
Same.
I definitely like needed to figure out what was good for myself. And there's some general tips exactly like that you can insert into your own sort of routine. So take it and run, people.
One other tip, actually, I forgot. My freshman year of college until my second semester, my first semester, I thought I could just study just looking at PowerPoint. Like I would look at my anatomy PowerPoints like halfway through and I'd be like, I'm all set. I mean, I don't know what any of this means, but like we'll figure out what happens tomorrow and hopefully I'll remember. Don't do that, guys. It's not good. And don't do it, because then I would do my test and I was like, what is this? Mm-hmm. What is all of this? Don't do that. Really take the time. Even actually, I don't know if everyone knows this life hack, but you can actually insert PowerPoints from PowerPoint, the app, into Google Drive. Because on PowerPoint, it's hard to use the comment section. Sometimes it doesn't work. So if you just insert it to Google Drive, and then after you have it in there, go under Save As and save it as a Google Drive, Google Slides, you can add in comments and then you can access them at any time. And even just using the comment box underneath the PowerPoint on Google Drive is a way of studying, because you're taking notes. So that's a number one recommendation. Start there, see how you feel. Is that too much, too little? Go from there.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That is such awesome advice. And what I'm going to say to that too is, if you're not a great test taker and you're good at everything else, you're good at the homeworks, you're good at quizzes, participation, make sure you use office hours and your TAs to your advantage. And the writing center too. I am so not kidding. The amount of TAs I've become so close with because I constantly went to their office hours to ask them questions. And then by the end of the semester, they know how you are as a test taker because, you've taken other exams and, you might have not done up to your potential. They are there. And same with your professors, they are there and they're going to help you. They're going to be like, make sure you study this specific part. You might see it on the exam. I am dead at, especially as a business major, like I am very, very serious. But if professors see you try outside of the classroom, if you have a B- and you really need a B, you're gonna get a B. I don't know. High school teachers always told us like, oh, they're not gonna do this, they're not gonna do that. Professors are so tough. Yeah, some professors are very tough. That's very true. But some of them they're really just trying to help you get a job after college. And that B- to that B is going to help boost your GPA, which is going to look good on your resume, which is going to help you get a job. So they're really there for you. So please take advantage of them. Just had to say
So
that.
true. Honestly, I used to be really scared to go to office hours. I remember the first time I tried to go, I ended up getting lost and standing outside and not finding my teacher.
Oh my
So
God. I felt that.
Don't be scared because that's what they're there for. And most of the time, if you go to office hours, professors are like, oh, I've been waiting for someone to come in. Like, don't be scared. That's their job. Don't be like, oh, I feel like I'm going to waste their time, especially with emails, even. Like, don't be scared. It's part of their job to support you. And if they can't do that, then you got to find it somewhere else. Don't be afraid to join tutoring groups. I joined a tutoring group for my chem class, and it was so helpful. So don't be scared. Like, there are these resources for a reason. Look into your resources. If you're struggling, reach out to the TA or reach out to the professor because a part of their job is to support you. Just remember that. Like, it is a part of their job. So don't be scared is the thing too. But that's a great tip. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Yes.
I always forget about that.
Definitely saved my ass before. And everyone makes fun of me for it because they think I'm a teacher kiss ass, but I don't care because like we could get the same grade, but I'm still gonna get a grade higher than you because I am a kiss ass. Like that's fine. Like I don't care. We love to see it.
I mean, you're just getting help and you're just making that personal connection can do a lot, especially with like recommendations and stuff too. Like it's really good to be close to professors.
Yes, we love it. We love it. My next question is, you mentioned how involved you are. You mentioned you have 2 jobs. You're involved in like 3 things on campus. Do you regret getting so involved as somebody who is a double major?
Not at all.
I love it.
Because I think that for me, like the more I have on my plate, the more motivated I am.
Yes.
I can't the reason why I joined Greek life was because my first semester, I would just like sit around and hang out with my friends, which obviously I love to do that still. Don't get me wrong. Love those friends. And I love to sit around and do nothing.
Yes.
But because I didn't have anything else but school to fill my time, I kind of felt unfulfilled and then I felt unmotivated. So I don't really take anything back. I really, ever since then, have really wanted to take advantage of everything college has to offer because now that I'm going into my senior year, I'm like, this is it. Like, this is as involved as I'm going to get, probably as a human forever. So let's be real. Like, when I'm a nurse, I'm not doing much else, to be honest. Going to the grocery store will probably be difficult. I'm tired. So it's just like, I know that this is the most involved I'm going to be in. And sometimes it's a lot, but all of the times it's been worth it because I think that a lot of people also focus on joining a bunch of things. But I like to pick things that actually like fulfill me and my soul and like what I actually want to do because I'm passionate about all of them. So when you go to those fairs, it's great to try out everything. I was even in sailing club. Why? I've never even sailed. I went on the boat. That's it. No talent to offer. Seriously. But I figured why not try everything? So try everything once. If you're slightly interested in it, go for it. And you never know what will happen. Like, if you feel the connection, do it. And then if it feels like too much, don't do it. But I feel like people are scared to try new things. But I think college is the greatest way to get involved and do more. So I would say go for it. You never know what secret talent or what secret like interest you have that you might not have known, but you never know what connections can come from that too. So,
And I'm about to call you out right here because that just reminded me of it. The fact that you weren't even thinking of running for a leadership position in DeFi is fucking mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And then you become one of the most actually I personally believe you are the most influential person in our entire sorority. 1000%.
I'm gonna cry.
I'm serious, and this is why. You are not only somebody that everyone looks up to. I'm being so deadass.
I'm gonna cry. Oh no, it's too early for me to get emotional.
Everyone not only looks up to you, but you are genuinely a nice person and genuinely motivate other people while like you are doing what you do. And the fact that you are so passionate about things makes other people passionate. And so if something ever happened to you, I feel like everyone is going to back you up. Like everyone. If you have an idea, everyone is going to back you up. If you say something, everyone's like, yeah, Hilary, yeah, let's go, Becky. Like, like coffee and giggles is something that is going to be a DeFi era. And like, nobody's going to forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, and taking that into consideration, like, you might think going into college, you're not going to get as involved as you want, but you might surprise yourself. Like, you definitely probably surprised yourself when you friggin' took an LT position and then became, literally the most influential person on our LT and in the entire DeFi sorority right now.
What?
Even right now, even with new members coming in, even with us being inactive, it doesn't even matter. It does not even
true.
matter.
She's lying, everybody.
I am still telling the truth. I can't think of one person, and a lot of girls in our sorority are very, very have very powerful voices. I can't think of one other person that's more influential than you. I'm being so serious.
Oh my gosh, you're too nice to me. Thank you.
It's so true. It just proves that you have, like, everyone has the potential. You just you might not see it right away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I guess I can talk about this since we're kind of leading into it. I definitely didn't expect to be that involved, as involved as I am in college. I think that the best thing you can ever do is go outside your comfort zone. I think that the best thing you can do is apply for that job and just be like, but what if it happens? Like my job, I was applying for so many jobs and I didn't get an interview for months.
Wow.
Well, for like a month, I don't know. And then I applied to this job and the next day I got an email and they were like, sorry for the wait, everybody. We're doing interviews. And I was like, what? Like, this feels meant to be. Wow. I got an interview. Are you serious? And I ended up getting that job with the manager that interviewed me too. So I'm like super, super grateful. But if I had not taken that chance and instead I was like, you know what? I don't think I'd be able to get into this hospital because I don't have any other experience, then I wouldn't have even applied for that job. And I probably wouldn't have had a job. But instead I said, you know what? I'm just going to apply because what do I have to lose? Yes. And then it ended up being such an amazing job that I still work at now and I'm super grateful for. So I would say, and that's just like anything in college, you just got to go for it. Like, because either it works out and it doesn't. What's the worst thing? What's the worst thing that could happen? It doesn't work out. And guess what? That's probably meant to be because you're meant to do something else.
Exactly.
So when you look at it like that and everything's meant to be, go for everything because everything works out the way that it should. So go for it because you never know what opportunities can stem from there, whether it's the exact thing that you're doing. Like if you join a club and you're like, this isn't for me, but my friend who I sit next to every club goes to another club that actually sounds like something I would love. And then you become the president of that club. Look at how that worked out. You never know.
Exactly. You never know. Just take the risk. Take the chance. Just do it. We love to see it.
Yep.
Kind of going into because we were sophomores and juniors during COVID time going into it. How did you balance everything? What were your classes like? How are you gonna balance this year?
So I think that the way that I balance things is I always put school first. Even with other stuff, I'm like, I'm here to get my education. If work needs me and I have a test the next day, I'm not going to work. You know, I think it's just like prioritizing. And even in your classes, prioritizing, like I spend way more time on classes that I'm actively struggling in, putting those first instead of being like, it's hard, so I'm going to put it last. No, do it first. You got to work on it. So other than that, you're just going to you're going to slip up, you know? So prioritize school. And also, most importantly, prioritize yourself. You need to take care of your physical and mental health. You need to be advocating for yourself. That's a hard thing to do. You learn how to do it, you know? So making sure that you take time to take breaks, to journal, to do what makes you happy besides all of the other things like school and all your activities, because those might be fun, but those aren't times for you, you know? So making sure you make times to check in with yourself and your mental health. And if you are struggling, like reaching out to those who you feel comfortable with and sharing and seeing what the next move should be. There's the counseling center. So making sure you can possibly go there and get the help that you need. And if you can't find it there will be somewhere else. There's so many resources, like making sure that you have a good support system that you can lean on is really important. And that makes it so much easier to balance all the things because you have a good support group that you can talk to about things. And also taking care of your physical health. Going to the gym can help, you know, like relieving all that stress. Yoga, you can eat food, have meals in a day. I mean, I think 3 meals, I like smaller meals instead of 3 meals a day. I'm not a big mealer, like my stomach. I like small things, eating what your body needs. And I think a lot of the times also, like, we can get caught up in like, you know, not wanting to eat certain foods, but you have to listen to what your body needs. If you just ate an hour ago and you're hungry, eat a snack, you know, because if your body isn't fueled, your mind isn't fueled, and then school will be harder. So I think that's like one of the most important pieces of advice I can give in terms of balance. Like, I think that a lot of the times people are so focused on balancing their time, they don't leave any time for themselves. But I think that I would argue that that's the most important thing, because if you focus on yourself, you take care of yourself, everything else will be easier because you'll know what you need.
Wow, you read my friggin' mind because I literally have a question in here, and it says, as former nice girls who are used to putting other people, you know, before themselves and everything before them, like, you know, what we need to actually do, what do you do to keep yourself sane during the school year? So that's literally hilarious because it answers that question. And it's crazy because like there's memes that are like, oh, what'd you eat today? And it's like, oh yeah, I had a couple things, and it's just like a picture of iced coffee. Like that literally that used to be a thing for me. Like, for what reason was I not remembering to eat during the day? Like, and then you realize it when you're friggin' hangry and starving at 6 o'clock, and you're like, what did I eat today? Oh, nothing, because I have been doing everything for other people and everything besides focusing on myself. So amazing advice.
Thanks. Yeah, it's so true. And if you don't like listen, like you'll learn it eventually if you don't learn it now. Like there have been a lot of times like that, you know, I get too caught up trying to like, you know, take care of my friends and be like responsible in all my positions and, you know, also being good at school. Like a lot of the times I tend to pour all my energy out and then I'm left with an empty tank and it's bad.
Yeah.
So I think that if you don't start out that way, you'll learn because you'll run out of fuel. Quickly. So you will run out and then you'll be like, well, something needs to change. And it's okay to need to take a step back from everything. Like it's okay. I think in college and just in general, it's viewed as bad to take a step back or take a break from something. But that's the best thing you can do for yourself. If you need a break from your club for 2 weeks, take a break. Tell them, you know what? I need a break to work on me. And if they're a good club, they'll be like, oh, okay, see you in 2 weeks. No biggie.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't do that with class.
Which is
But-
why you focus on class first.
Yeah, but focus on class and yourself first. Everything else can come. If you need to spend one day without interacting with anybody, do it.
What is one of the biggest conflicts you've gotten into in college, and how have you overcome it? One that you can talk about.
I don't really do conflicts. I'm not really like a big conflicter, to be honest. I think it's more like I feel like I'm more of like an ally, neutral party. So I'll just speak from general experience. I mean, I guess my roommates freshman year had a little bit of issues with each other. And I think that just like there's always two sides to one story. So even if you're in a conflict and you're like, well, I'm really frustrated with this person, I think talking about your emotions, owning up to them and being like, this is the way I feel, and not like, and the other person can feel that way. And that's okay. You guys are going to feel different ways about different things. And it's about being like, well, you know, I feel this way, but now I'm realizing this person can feel this way and I can still feel this way. I can still feel the way that I feel and understand how another person is feeling. And I can be like, you know what, let's compromise because I understand how you feel. I hope that you understand how I feel. Either way, forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about how you feel. If you're not ready to forgive, you're not ready to forgive.
Wow.
But forgiving is about healing yourself and being like, I'm ready to move on. So forgiving is for you. If the other person wants you to forgive them and you're not ready, you're not ready. Take your time. If you rush forgiveness, it's not going to be real. So I would say try and look at things from another person's perspective and moving from there. Like if you understand, like, you know, the way that I see things are just not the truth. Like they're not. How we perceive things or the way that we perceive things, they're not a truth. So guaranteed the other person is seeing things a different way. So just try and put yourself in their shoes. And if you can't, just being like, well, I understand that they're not wrong and neither am I. So I think that's the best thing, is realizing that everyone else lives their own truths, will have their own opinions. It's just the way that you go about how you feel about them and how you want to move on.
Wow.
So I guess that would be the best advice I would have for that.
Yes. Love it. Definitely love it. And especially as a freshman, you're still figuring out yourself. You're figuring out what you want to do, where you want to be. That's great advice. Yay.
Thanks.
We're on to the last question. Oh, so sad.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think college has prepared you enough to get a job and start in the real world after graduation?
So
Cries.
kind of. Nursing is a little different, I think, for most careers. So I feel like a lot of the things I'm going to learn on the job, but I would say that what I learned in college prepared me for my job now that can probably lead me into a job after college. So I would say yes, ? Even though that was by myself. But I would say yes, because especially living off campus and having your own kitchen, like I'll be prepared to live by myself full time because I'm living, well, with other people, but by myself full time.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that everyone should do if they're able to in college, because I feel like, you know, you're still in college, you still have like, you're not like having a 9 to 5 and then having to go home and cook dinner and learn how to live on your own. Like when you have a full-time job, like I think it's going to be easier learning that with a class schedule because you're not out all day. You don't have pets, or you know your roommates, because a lot of times after college you move in with random roommates and it's just the way it is, you know. But if you have the chance to, I would totally recommend it. But if not, you can learn those tips over time. Like a lot of people like cook dinner for their families anyways. and are naturally independent and want to do things. I know that my mom loves cooking. So I'm not really normally, if I was just living at home, I cook myself lunch and breakfast, but dinner, I don't really cook. So question mark on that one going into living by myself, but it's fine. We're gonna peanut butter. Love peanut butter. For real though, like I think that like taking advantage of all the independence you can learn and also being independent, like emotionally independent, I think is something that you learn from being at college, because when you're at college, you get to make more decisions for yourself. You're not necessarily living at home with your parents. If you did, like, it's just kind of like you get more, there's more opportunities, and there's more of a way for you to take advantage of those opportunities. So I think college is going to prepare you, but it's never going to fully prepare you for when you have a full-time job. You're going to have to learn it there. But I think that in general, I've definitely learned a lot so far that I think I'll be able to apply almost all of it into the real world. So yes, I guess. Is that a weird way of answering? I don't know.
Oh, that's fabulous. And so friggin' accurate. Oh my God. I love it.
Thanks.
Is there any last minute advice you would like to give all the freshies, all the people that have no fucking clue what they're doing in college? Let us
Actually,
know.
yeah.
Okay,
I'll give some advice. Guys, my number one tip, be yourself. Be yourself, okay? Like, when you go into college, when you go into any new scenario, it can be easy to be like, I want all these friends and I want to like act like other people will like me and I want to be likable. You know, the people that are meant for you will find you as long as you're yourself. And if you're not yourself, you're going to realize it after and you're going to regret it. You want to be yourself because that's when people will appreciate you the most. That's when you are glowing the most. So forget about what you think anyone else wants you to be. Be yourself and own it. And everything else will fall into place. And if it doesn't, like, make friends in your classes. Your best friends don't have to be your roommates. Your best friends don't have to be who's in your classes with you. It can be other people. You never know where you'll find connections. And, you know, so if you're shy, it's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be like a whole hello, like this is me. Hello. You don't have to be like that. Sometimes I'm like that. Sometimes I'm not. Depends on the day. So just be yourself, no matter if it's just a little bit of yourself or you like to, you know, throw your whole personality out there. Whatever you want. Just be yourself, and like the people that you end up being friends with will be good. And also don't get all caught up in, I feel like a lot of people think that their freshman year friends need to be their best friends forever. Your friends are going to change. I'm really lucky and I can say that I'm still like best friends with all my freshman year friends, but that's not going to be the case. And that is okay. You grow out of people. People separate. Don't take it like it's not that deep, you know? It happens. So just do you. Do you. So that's my number one piece of advice.
Wow. Hilary, you're an icon as always, which is why I had to have you on because come on, that was some amazing, amazing advice. Thank you for coming on. And oh my God, I could cry right now. It's so
Me too. How do you expect to, like, what are you imagining balancing study abroad and keeping up with your podcast and everything? Like, how are you expecting that to go?
So hopefully, well, I'm manifesting some good vibes this whole semester. I would love, so I'm pretty good at planning out episodes. However, I procrastinate pretty well on getting guests on. So, you know, I know the podcast topic, but my guest, I probably won't know for like a week or two before, or sometimes the day before. So with that being said, with the time difference, I might need to take a halt with some guests that are going to be here, but it would be really cool to interview some people out there. So hopefully I can do that. It just depends on like the topics, but balancing it, hopefully it will go well. I was expecting to get a new computer by the time I study abroad, but I'm broke. So we are using the same one, and it's pretty difficult because it's not a Mac. and this is like technical stuff, but coming up on the like 1 year anniversary, I've been doing the same thing for an entire year, and I do want to switch it up, but I just don't have the time or resources for it. So I'm expecting it to go well. I just need to really keep motivating myself and keep saying to myself, like, you're putting out more content because you're studying abroad. You're going to be getting new experiences because you're studying abroad. And I can share that with all the listeners, all the people that are watching. And, you know, some people might get sick of it. Some people are already probably sick. I've been talking about studying abroad for months now. I post on my story every single day. Like, I get it's going to be sickening, but some people, it's exciting. Some people, you know, they're at school, they're at URI, and they're expecting to see things that I'm doing, and hopefully it keeps people excited. And the next couple of months are definitely going to be crazy. There is 4 days until I leave, 4 days. I leave Sunday. Like, I'm taking a plane to Paris on Sunday.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
7th. Like what? Like, that's crazy. It's still not real. So we'll see. Everyone's gonna come on this experience with me, for real. It's gonna be
I'm excited to see, and I've been loving all the study abroad, also because I feel like I don't know any other people who are studying abroad.
I was thinking about that. I was like, thinking about that literally this morning. I'm like trying to think. Of course, I have people in my program. I know a girl from Cumberland that is taking a year. Cumberland? I don't know, one of the schools, Terre Haute maybe, who is taking a year off before college to travel. And then I know a bunch of people, but then I think about people at URI, and I don't know anyone that's studying abroad at URI.
Well, I guess you'll find out.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. And I think also maybe you should do like a backup, not a backup, like a full circle back to school episode after your study abroad experience to talk about your study abroad experience.
Yes.
You know, because
really
I feel like I would ask you questions about it now, but you haven't been yet.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to, you know, talk about it fully. But I think that it would be really cool for you to share your experience so other people know more of what to expect, because I feel like a lot of times people are like, wow, like my friend went to Greece and all she did was, you know, have fun and stuff. Right. But like, I know there's a lot of other things that come into it. So I feel like it'll be cool, especially from a COVID perspective as well, to hear about your experience. So I think that would be awesome.
Thank you. I'm
looking forward to hearing all about it.
Happy senior year. Can't wait till we graduate. We're so
I can. Can I be honest? I can. I'm gonna miss college. Guys, hear that? I'm gonna miss college. We love college. This is endorsement for the University of Rhode Island.
Yeah, just kidding. Surprise. This was an ad the whole time.
Thank you so much, University of Rhode Island, for sponsoring this podcast. Oh man.
Yes. And we love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you guys so much for watching and coming back to the Untitled Algorithm to learn more, help you grow into your potential. We have some amazing projects and things coming up soon. Again, thanks for being so patient and being so supportive throughout, you know, the past almost year. And I'm going to keep saying that this whole month because it's absolutely mind-blowing, which I say every episode anyways. But as usual, I will see you all next week to help you grow into your potential. This is Jasmine, the Untitled Algorithm, signing off. Bye.